So Trent now leaves with 2 Premier League titles to his name, along with the FA Cup, 2 League Cups, as well as the FIFA Club World Cup and UEFA Super Cup. Let's get the thoughts of a man who played his part in Trent's incredible career. A very good morning to Accrington Stanley boss and Trent's former coach, John Doolan. John, a very good morning. Thanks for joining us,
morning,
mate.
John.
How are you?
You're welcome. Morning, Ali. Morning, Gabby. How are you?
Morning,
We're in top form, John. First of all, before we move on to Trent, how about yourself? How's your season been? How are you feeling with the way things have gone?
Yeah, it's gone all right. It's a bit of a battle, with the turmoil and the turnover we had early on in the season. The start of the season, I should say, but the target was reached in terms of keeping us in the EFL. So we've got to kick on next year now. So I enjoyed my first season as a head coach or manager. So yeah, target reached. Well,
here's a question for you, John. Do you get a bit of time off? Are you already preparing players pre-season, everything? How's it? You must get a little bit of time off because I'm guessing you need it. Everybody needs it.
Well, you do, mate. You do need it, but at the end of the day, the phone doesn't stop, Ali. It's just constant with agents and everything else. I mean, I was at a game yesterday. I went to watch Man United under-21s against West Ham. So I was looking at plays there yesterday. So, you never switch off. I'll get a couple of weeks where, you get yourself away and have a little bit of a break, catch a bit of sun, but the phone never stops, mate.
Smashing, John. Listen, we move on to Trent. 20 years, absolute. I think it's just incredible. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful story. Can you believe that the career, before we move on to the decision he's made, can you believe that the career he's had at Liverpool?
Oh, it's outstanding, isn't it? It's you'd never visualise. When I first seen him when he was 6, 7, if you're like an 8 when we sort of coached him when he first came in. He was a talented boy then. You could see he was skipping past people. He was scoring goals for fun. He was more of a striker playing at that age and just a bit of freedom and everything. But you could see the potential in him. You haven't got a crystal ball to say he's going to reach the top because that's a lot of hard work and dedication, as you both know. But he was, to do what he's done and achieve what he's achieved at Liverpool, there's nothing but credit to the boy.
I was going to ask you that because, for instance, when Jack Grealish was coming through the academy, everyone was saying, oh, there's this kid coming through. You can tell from even when he was 7, 8, you can just tell some players have got it. Was like what Trent was like? Could you tell he had that technique, that strike of a ball at such a young age?
Oh, Gab, honestly, you could, mate. He come in the indoor at the training ground in Kirby there, and he was putting them in the top corner. He was gliding past people. He had that athleticism at that young age, but you could see the freedom, obviously, that kids have at that, and you think, well, the potential's there. Can he just carry that on now? And he has. And I sort of left myself at around about under 9s, probably with Trent, and I went on my own little journey. And I went back when he was to watch them when I was first team coach at Wigan, and so I went back and took a game. It was under 18s game, just looked to see what was what. And I'm surprised. Well, surprised. It was because he was playing centre half for the under 18s, and I was like, wow. But it was even then you could see that he still had everything, and I just thought this kid's going to kick on, and obviously he has,
It's amazing, John, looking at, I think, particularly playing in that right back position, you look at full backs, and a lot of them nowadays obviously got to get forward, got to get balls into the box, got to link up and all that stuff. But the one thing I think about Trent, John, I don't know whether you agree, he sees it, mate. He sees the whole thing, and his ability to pass, make a defence spitting pass. And I get back to even that corner kick, and I mean,
Barcelona.
To have the vision to see that, it's remarkable, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, when you go and look at all different types of plays, and there's a checklist that goes on your head that you go for and stuff. And exactly what you just said, Ali, he sees the game. He's got all the technique. You work on your technique. You work on a tactical side of the game. But in terms of his vision and seeing the game, I mean, that's just massive. That's helped him to get where he's got. And he's an outstanding, not just outstanding player, world-class player, but he's an outstanding young man as well.
Yeah.
John, what disappoints me, though, as an ex-player, like, he's done everything for Liverpool. Won 8 major honours. He's 26 years of age, most goals by a Premier League defender. He deserves to leave with the love of the team, the city that he loves more than anything else, because he said it, didn't he, in his interview? He wants to come back when he's older with his kids to watch games. He's a Liverpool man through and through, and I'm sure even when he moves to Real Madrid, he'll be watching every Liverpool game he can. And it's just a shame that it's a bit bitter with some of the fan base.
It is. I don't understand it. I just don't get it at all. One or two saying, we should have made money on it and all that. But, he signed his contract. He signed at Liverpool. He's worked hard. He's put everything into that club. And he's got that club, the trophies that club have won. and he's give everything, and he should go. You know, there should be a guard of honour for the kid.
Yeah.
He should be clapping him off the pitch at the end of the last game of the season, because he's been outstanding. He's give everything to the club, and he deserves. You know, and to change the culture now for him at a different club. You know, when you go to Real Madrid.
Exactly.
You know, it's a top club, isn't it? You know, it's won everything. It's got history that beyond belief. You know, obviously they might have a change with the manager going and stuff, but might have a little rebuild there. But he's going to be part of that. So I think you know, everyone should be patting him on the back, and to say, you know, to round it off with winning the Premiership this season. You know, we should have the club get another Premiership trophy. So you know, I've got nothing but praise for him, and I've got nothing but praise for him as a young man, because, as I said, I mean, the experience I've had, I hadn't seen Trent since I left the academy. And, you know, we played him in the FA Cup, and, you know, he came off. I mean, he scored an unbelievable goal, didn't he? Again, that's the technique from the edge of the box where he's put it in the top corner. I'm thinking Anfield will take 1-0 all day, half-time at Anfield, in the FA Cup. And all of a sudden he puts one in the top corner and does what he does. And you go in 2-0 and you think, oh, my God, it's Trent, though, isn't it? and I did have that sort of thing that I had with him when he was, you know, I'd say a young little boy, you know, 6, 7, and 8, 9. And then he was substituted, came off. And then all of a sudden, you know, the end of the game comes, and all of a sudden he shouted me, and I didn't know it was, and I turned round and you could see the surprise in my face, and that just speaks volumes about the lad. You know, he's got flip-flops on, a big coat, and he's coming over, and the first thing he said is he could see me saying, "You don't remember, do you?" You know, because he was only a kid, and he went, "I remember everything, John." He went, "I just want to thank you," and I said, "Oh," and I said, "This is just sums the kid up," you know what I mean? He's a proper Scouser as well, by the way, and that just summed him up to me. I just thought, you know, what a man.
John, I've got to say to you, mate, that's a brilliant story. That's the best story we've heard this morning. And that is what it's all about. That resonates with everybody.
Oh, unbelievable, Ali.
Smashing, John. Well, listen, mate, you get away. Don't turn that phone off, but get yourself away for a break, mate.
I will do, lads. Good luck. Thanks for everything. Cheers, lads.
Thanks a lot, pal. Mate. Thanks for joining us.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.